morning, sunshine. This is Joy from Michigan in the United States. And I was going to mix this up ahead of time and decided I would just do it on camera for you guys. I have talked a lot lately about mixing your paints up in advance. And normally I am adamant that that's the way I should go. But I wanted to show you an exception to that for me. Obviously you can make your own rules about mixing paint, but this is my liquid acrylic, excuse me, crimson, which I love, love, love this color. I'm gonna have to order some more, but I wanted to show you, it's very creamy. It's not as thick as, say, a Liquitex paint. So I found the Liquitex paints to be very, very thick, which is nice because you don't need much paint then. You use more pouring medium than paint. But this paint is not thick like that. So the benefit of that, so the drawback is obviously you use more paint, but the benefit is that you can go ahead and mix this up and then use it right away unless you want silicone in it. And I'm doing a painting today with no silicone, so I felt like I could come on here and mix this up for you all, excuse me, and then go ahead and just paint with it right away. It mixes so easy. Like I said, you're using more, but it really is a nice paint. I really like this paint. So let me test. So it's just sitting on the top. It's really not sinking in. So I know I need more pouring medium. I'm just gonna dump the rest of that in there. So I do consistency checks as I'm stirring this. This is how I determine how much pouring medium to put in. Each color is a little different, so I don't want to just assume, you know, I can do 50-50 or I can do whatever ratio. I do it all based on the drizzle, and I don't think I can get this to a point where you guys can see it. I would need a flashlight. But I drizzle this on the top and I count, and it should be, the drizzle should have disappeared by the time I get to a slow 3 count. So like you're counting seconds. So 1, 2, 3. It's almost gone, but still there. So I'm gonna need some more pouring medium. So this is my container that I use, and I've just marked. So I'm not super, I don't know, exact in my measurements. So I fill it to Floetrol to this line, and then I add water to that line, and that's about 1 to 1.5. I'd like to try just doing Floetrol and paint, but I haven't done that yet. So normally with my Floetrol, I put a piece of nylon on the lid so that you filter out any chunks. But this is really, really new Floetrol, and I'm using it very quickly. So I haven't had any chunks yet, so hopefully that is the case today. So I'm just gonna pour up to that first line. Ish, you know, like I said, no worry, no stress. And I will be right back. I'm gonna go get some water. I just used tap water. You could use distilled to make sure there's nothing in it and to make sure you've got a pure product, but I just used tap water. So I will be right back with you guys. I'm back with you. Filled it up to the other line with water. Now I'm just gonna stir the Floetrol and water in together. I probably should wash this container out in between uses, but I don't. I haven't worried about it. I haven't had any issues so far. So if you know something I don't about why I should wash this out, let me know. Pop it in the comments. It doesn't take very long, I found, for the Floetrol and water to mix. And because I mix up a big jug like this and then I leave it sitting, it does have a tendency to separate again. So I stir it before I use it every time. So, all right, let's get the paint back in here. And this is when it's a little tricky to pour because I'm using a square container that's very full. And because it's got these little rounded bits here on the edge, it wants to come out 2 spots at once. So you have to be careful how you pour. So if you're picking a container, that might not be the best option. But it's worked out for me so far, so I just keep using it. So, excuse me, I'm sorry, my allergies are really bad today. We've had a lot of rain. So I'm gonna count. I still feel like it's a little bit heavy. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's still 5, 6, 7 seconds. So I'm gonna add quite a bit of Floetrol to this while Floetrol and water mixed. Ooh, and it's gonna drip down the sides, make a mess. But that's okay. Art is messy. I actually have an art piece that I created probably last year sometime that's what I called it, Art is Messy. Okay, we're still at least 6 seconds, so we need some more Floetrol. So I'm still adding quite a bit of pouring medium to my paint, which is stretching my paint, which is wonderful. This feels very watery to me, which makes me just a little bit nervous, but based on the drizzle on the top, yeah, see, some of that drizzle is, when I pour it straight in, it's disappearing. So now I've added too much Floetrol. That's the hardest part, I think, of this whole process, is getting your consistencies right. Okay, so 4 big blobs added to that. All right, guys, I think you get the basic idea. This might take another minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and I'll come back with you when I'm ready to paint. All right, guys, I am back with you. I went ahead and put the base coat down on my plywood round here. I wasn't sure these would hold up because they're so thin, but here's one that I've already finished and has dried. I can try and keep it out of the other paint. Very, very thin. As you can see, there we go. But they did warp a little when I was painting on them, but dried wonderfully. And even though they were a little warped, the paint didn't run off them. So it wasn't enough to alter the painting. So hopefully that works out today as well. I did finish mixing up my crimson, which you might be able to see a little bit better because there's a lot more of it now. Maybe not. It was a little thin. It might be back to a little thick right now, but I'm gonna go with it and see what it does. I don't want to lose the crimson, but I also don't want it to take over. So if we can have that happy medium, that's what I'm shooting for. So I'm only going to use 4 colors today. Forgot to grab one of them, but I like to put metallic in my, this is a reverse flower dip. In these, I like to use a little metallic because they create some really lovely lacing sometimes. So I also want to separate the yellow and the purple. I don't want brown, so I will always put silver between those 2 colors. So my colors today are Dioxazine Purple, Crimson, Silver, and my custom Goldenrod, which I just loved this color yesterday, and the way it interacted with Crimson was stunning. So I'm hoping we get some absolutely gorgeous effects from this. This is Cadmium Medium Yellow Hue mixed with Cadmium Orange and just 1 teeny tiny drop of Dioxazine Purple because it was almost too bright and I wanted to dull it down a little. So it's just this gorgeous, gorgeous shade of Goldenrod yellow. Again, I didn't measure, so I can't give you exact measurements, but those are the colors that were used, and it was mostly yellow, a little bit of orange, and like I said, just 1 teeny tiny drop of purple. So I think I'm going to start with silver. And this is the Liquitex silver, which I've had some issues with clumping in the past, so hopefully we don't have that today. And I know that silver, oh, look how much it's running down that side and not the other. Let me just help it along here. It's not wanting to run down. I don't want a lot of silver on the bottom, just enough to create some pretty effects. So let's go ahead and add our crimson, and that crimson will carry that silver down. I found, even in watching other people's videos, that it doesn't always go evenly down these little channels on the bottom of your bottle. So just watch for that. You could always add a drop using your stick or just dribbling it to whatever color you've got to kind of help it even out. You want all these puddles on each edge to be even, or you're going to have a lopsided flower. So that's the one thing I recommend watching for, is just, do you have an even amount of paint? Because otherwise you might not be happy with your end result. It may not look very flowerish. I try to pour right in the middle, but it's kind of tricky to do that. So just make sure it's going evenly as you can get it. So I'm going to take my time with this. You guys may want to fast forward through this. If you don't care to listen to me just jabber on and on, hit the mute button and turn on your favorite music. I think that's a great way to go forward. All right, we really want to cover up this orange, so I'm going to use quite a bit of silver here. And then we're going to go to purple. Dioxazine Purple, which I found gave me absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous lacing yesterday. It was just stunning. So hopefully we get some of that. And that was just using Dioxazine Purple with white, titanium white. There was silicone in my crimson, which is why I mixed up a new one today. I didn't want any silicone. So there's no silicone in this mix. Okay. Go back to my lovely, lovely Goldenrod. Oh, that dripped weird. Oh, I almost did purple. Nope, I want my separate. You know, I might do a little bit of white here. Let's just do a little bit of white to separate out. I feel like my table's uneven, guys. Maybe my cups are uneven, or maybe my board is already warped. Let me pull these cups out to the edges here. So this is just balanced on 4 cups. So it may not be completely level. See how much bigger this petal is? I'm gonna have a lopsided flower. But you know what? We're just gonna roll with it. No stress. Oh, first I apologize, you're gonna have a really good view of the back of my head as I blow this paint off the pop bottle onto the canvas. Because I don't want a lot of paint left on this. I've actually thought about taking the pop bottle bottom, and then washing it so you don't have any paint. So when I turn this, you don't have any marks, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. So I am going to take my skewer, the flat end, and pull the colors out, just to give it a little bit of a point. I'm really not sure. I should have maybe made this flower bigger, but I think it'll be okay. All right. And I don't worry about how far these go out or making sure they're all exactly the same, because once you put the paper towel on and move it, it's not going to be the same. So what I try to do is I line up the little spots within between these petals that I've already poured. So I'm going to reverse my order just a little bit here, and I'm going to pour orange first, or what do I call this? Goldenrod yellow, and then do the red. So let's try that. A little bit slightly different color pattern. I don't think that will hurt anything. I really do love these colors together, so I hope this turns out as pretty as my painting yesterday did with these same colors. It's dried really, really nicely. Well, it's still wet, but so far it's looking really, really nice. I'm really, really happy with it. I painted on a piece of glass yesterday, so I really wasn't sure how that would work, and it did really well. I'll grab it in just a minute and show you guys while I wait for the paint to run down. So I've been more experimental lately. It's just a heavy time, and I think I need less stress, more freedom. That's what I am, more freedom in my pursuit of artistic endeavors, so that I can just do whatever my heart tells me and not worry about the results. And if I get a pretty painting, wonderful. And if I don't, that's okay too. It's about the process right now for me, not about the end result. I hope you all are doing well and staying safe. It is a crazy, crazy world we're living in. I feel like I'm putting so much paint down on this canvas, guys. Hopefully it's not too much. All right, and then I think we're gonna do the purple. Well, I know we're gonna do the purple. I'm trying to decide what I do in the middle. Do I do white or do I do silver? I think silver. So, and not a lot, just a little. All right, while that sits, I'll grab my other painting. So this is the glass piece from yesterday. And I don't know if it's because it's still wet. I'm not gonna put my finger in it to figure this out, but it has dried so vibrant. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And so I just love the colors. And then the lacing that I got, especially up in this corner, is just incredible. It's almost like snake skin here. So just very happy with that. I thought I would end up scraping that one and pitching it. Oh, look how crooked my flower is. What's going on? A plywood round may not have been the best choice because it's going to warp. All right, blow that paint off, lift the cup, and then I'm gonna let that kind of pour into the middle. But my petals on the outside have really lost their shape. So, plywood round might not be the best thing for a flower, but we're still gonna try. So I'm gonna take my skewer and I'm gonna see if I can tip this just a little bit, because my gosh, did it go off tether here. Okay. This is gonna be a really interesting flower, but we'll get there. So I'm just going to pull my lines in rather than out on these petals that I just did. And I really don't have much paint in the middle, which is a little bit concerning. I know you can cut little notches in the bottom of the pop bottle to help that paint flow inward towards the middle as well. I have not done that, but it is something you can do. So now I'm just pulling in all the way to the middle. It will add, I really should be wiping that. It will add a petal effect in the middle here. Look at this, this went muddy. Well, guys, this one's gonna be interesting. If nothing else, it will be interesting. Okay, I think we're gonna leave that. See right here, the paint is like dried on the edges of this. Yeah, I'm thinking plywood was not the best choice. But I still think we'll have something pretty when we're done. I may have to, and my daughter, she's been watching art videos with me lately. So I can get some inspiration and she can get some time with me. She wants me to try a spinner, and I may end up doing that in this one just because it's poured so funny. I don't know, like I lost all my shape, but that's okay. All right, here goes nothing, guys. I have to move my paint so I don't knock stuff over. Oh goodness, I have so much stuff on my table right now. I just don't want to get halfway through moving this paper towel and get nervous about hitting something and mess it up. So I just use dry paper towel. People have used napkins, wet or dry paper towel, saran wrap. I think you could probably use just about anything. Experiment with it. You'll find probably what works best for you. And I'm just barely patting. I don't know, guys, this flower, even as you see the paper towel, like there's such a weird cone shape there. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. See if we can just push some of this out a little bit. Yeah, we may have to spin this one. I may have to pause the video and find my little, I have a cheap Lazy Susan. I don't know if it'll work or not, but see if we can find that and give it a go. We'll see. Maybe it'll come out beautiful and I'll just love it the way it is. Here goes nothing. Oh, those colors. I don't know. Do I spin this one? Do I not? We really lost the silver. But these colors together sure are stunning. We lost a lot of the goldenrod too. Give it a minute and maybe it'll pop up. Just trying to clean up my middle here a little bit. Just trying to, I just have these lines. I just don't like them in the middle. All that white. There we go, that's better. So I just keep fiddling, and sometimes, as you know, if you've watched my videos, I fiddle too much. Guys, I think I might try spinning this one, although it's going to make a huge mess. It's so interesting because it really didn't turn out like I expected. I feel like I've got almost no goldenrod showing through. Right here is just lovely though. And it is lopsided. Over here is a little smaller, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I am going to pause this real quick and see if I can find my Lazy Susan and do a very gentle spin. I will be right back. All right, guys. I am back with you. I found it. This could be very interesting. These are almost the exact same size. Oh, this makes me very nervous. And my board is definitely warped. So let's just, like I said, I don't know how well this is gonna work. I almost wonder, you guys may not have the best view. This cup is awful tall. Maybe not that one. Let's try. So I've got those 4 little cups that were stacked that this was sitting on. Maybe we'll try 2. All right, guys, this could be like the worst decision ever, but oh goodness, because it's not gonna want to stay put. I don't know. I don't think I can get enough speed out of this to do anything. All right, let's just, I need a better Lazy Susan. Well, it's spinning. It's not doing a very good job. There's going to be paint everywhere, but it's doing it very unevenly, so this may not be the because of the, it's so weird because the edges are so dry. Let me add a little paint. Let's add a little white over here. I don't know if you guys can see where that's just the paper towel took up so much paint that it's basically dry. So this is going to be a very big mess to clean up when I'm done, guys. All right, let's try that. I definitely need a better Lazy Susan and maybe a bigger one, because it's not spinning evenly. See, this side is so much more. I probably have you guys yelling at me too right now. Sorry. Sorry. I probably shouldn't have messed with it, but now that we've started, why not keep going, right? I was hoping it'd bring out a little bit more of that yellow, and I'm not sure that it is. Oh, it's getting very difficult to spin. It's very slippery. Oh, goodness. I will have to try this again, but not on, oh, goodness, not on plywood. Oh, goodness, I can't spin it at all. It's so slippery. I'm gonna have to watch some more videos and see how people do this, because, oh heavens to Betsy. All right, guys, I need a different spinner. I was hoping to stretch it this way. The paint seems fairly thick too, so I'm sure that's not helping me at all. And I feel like I took something that was really quite pretty and messed it up. Oh, guys, what have I done? Okay. I almost feel like I should scrape this and redo it. It's just not what I was hoping for, and the spinner did not work. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to scrape this one and try it on something different. What do you guys think? Canvas? Or I thought I had another little wood piece somewhere, but I cannot find it. Oh goodness, guys. All right, I'll be back with you.